Always a pleasure.
You've brought pizza, and we're gonna
pizza.
And we're gonna get to that. I have a piece of pizza here with a runny egg yolk on it.
Ooh.
And it's delicious. We'll get to that in a moment here, but a couple of things that we want to bring up with you today. By the way, a beautiful weekend in the corridor.
Gorgeous.
What'd you get up to?
Well, I had the Quest University graduation ceremony and the Squamish Culture and Heritage Fair.
Oh, right.
And the National Day of Mourning. And I walked around the oceanfront.
Oh, yeah.
I did a little bit of yoga.
Oh, good.
Had a little party with friends. It was a great weekend.
Excellent. Devin went mountain biking for the first time in the corridor. That's awesome. I think that's great because a lot of people are afraid of that. And the skiing was fantastic on Whistler Blackcomb. So switching gears, getting to, of course, the issues that people are talking about these days. Still, I'm hearing about people who are reacting to the bear that was shot in the Garibaldi Highlands. 7 bear sightings in the Highlands, according to a local newspaper. There was the map there. They put it out every week. So your reaction when you found out that somebody, a resident in the Highlands, took out his or her gun, and shot the bear?
Yeah, I was obviously really stunned and a little bit shocked, not only because a bear was shot, it seems fairly randomly, but someone's shooting off a firearm in a neighborhood. Really concerning. Yeah. So the conservation officers and the RCMP are investigating. It's a pretty serious thing, and we can't have that happening in our neighborhoods.
Who does that? That is the craziest thing. I mean, I really do hope they figure this out because it's just so dangerous and it's just so reckless. But hopefully we'll figure it out. The debris flow barrier, also big news there. The Chikai Fan area there to help prevent landslides. That's going to be a pretty big undertaking. So has this actually been approved?
It hasn't been approved yet. So there's been a lot of study. The Chikai Fan is probably the most studied debris flow hazard in North America, if not the world. Like, it has been studied. But when the Mount Meager slide happened about 5 or 6 years ago, it got geologists and people who deal with rocks,
geologists, for sure,
and a variety of other scientists really concerned about maybe there's more flow in some of these fans. So they've been restudying the one at Chikai that comes off of Mount Garibaldi, and essentially the risk, the hazard is bigger. It's different than the mapping had shown 20 years ago. And it shows different areas where the flow could potentially go, and that goes right down to the Highlands, right down the highway, and various spots. We have much better computers and technology today to actually sort of model out these flows. And so there is the Squamish Nation is in partnership with the development company to do a development on the Chikai Fan, and the only way they can proceed is if they build this barrier. So. What we were trying to come to a conclusion, council, and we did last week, was which is sort of the best preventative flow scenario or structure. And we looked at a bunch of different options, and definitely the best one is this one that's just up east of the highway, above sort of just above Alice Lake.
Right.
It's actually just outside the district boundaries.
And I read talk of a basin.
Yeah, well, essentially it would capture all the big stuff, all the big logs, the big boulders. It's sort of like a bit of a spaghetti strainer. So the small stuff and the liquid would continue down, so you don't impact your riparian area. But then there would be a basin that you'd basically take gravel out of or take rocks out of as needed.
Who pays for it?
Well, that's a big question because, of course, it's potentially a $40 million structure.
Wow.
And so the cities obviously can't pay for that. So the developer should proceed. It still has to get an OCP amendment and rezoning, which will be probably coming up in the next few months. They'll pay for the structure. What we're trying to determine is who actually owns the structure because, in 20, 30, 40, 50 years, you might have to replace that. How do you pay for that? How do you come up with the monies? There's a whole bunch of different means that we can do that. We're still not sure the city actually has to own it. It could be the province or somebody else that owns it. So we're trying to figure that out right now.
Okay, great. Well, we'll look forward to hearing more about that. Now, speaking of the community plan and the pizza, OCP. So tell us. So, and thank you, by the way, the pizza looks delicious.
So exciting.
Well, I kind of cheated a little bit, and the pizza you'll get for your OC Pizza Nights will actually come from your favorite pizzeria. So it might not be a little bit burnt like mine is, but
It's
we'll take
okay.
it.
Hey, you know
I'm
what?
sure it will be made with as much love as I have put into this pizza.
For $8.29, it's pretty good. It's all very good. No worries. So tell us about the official community plan.
Yeah. So if you're not familiar with the official community plan, it is the overarching vision document. It is the underpinning of all of other bylaws or zoning bylaws, sort of founded on the OCP, and it charts out the community's vision and philosophy for 20 years. We try to redo them every 5 years, so we're keeping up to date, and we're making sure that the OCP is still relevant to the community, to the environment, to climate, all those sort of things. But it has many policies within there, and of course land use policies. So it'll have climate change policies, it'll have policies on environment, it'll have policies about density and transit and economic development, all those sort of things.
Yeah, I was just going to say, for people like, if you're listening and you're hearing policies and rezoning, there's some really good stuff that I know you have your thoughts on: education, healthy and livable neighborhoods. And that's just a couple of the topics. So there's definitely a lot you can have your say on if you fill out one of these booklets.
Patty Heintzman, Mayor of Squamish, in studio with us today.
Mountain Mornings with Darren McPeak on Mountain FM.